Thank you, Rajiv, for that very warm welcome. So as announced, I am Miss San Jose 2018, and throughout my year, I've gotten to do a lot of fun stuff. As mentioned, I get to go to Miss California this summer. I've gotten to go to fashion shows and galas. But one moment that really has stuck with me in the past would actually happen very recently. And that was a few months ago, I got to participate as a volunteer for Read Across America Day at a local elementary school. And essentially, I got to help celebrate Dr. Seuss's birthday by reading picture books to a bunch of classes. But my favorite part actually happened afterwards. I was sitting in the office and I was about to pack up my stuff and leave when the librarian suddenly tapped me on the shoulder. And she said, "Miss San Jose, look outside." And I was like, "What's outside?" And apparently there was a line of first grade girls who had seen me walk by in my crown and sash, and they were waiting outside and asking if they could get my autograph. And for me, as someone who's not used to getting that type of attention, I was like, wow, like when you have a fancy hat, people suddenly want to listen to you, and that's pretty cool to have that type of impact. So for me, the issue that I wanted to impact throughout my year is women in leadership. And I want to talk a little bit about why this was so important to me. After I graduate in June, I will be joining a private equity firm in New York called Insight Venture Partners, and I'll be investing mainly in software and internet companies. And while this was my dream job, getting there took a long time. I worked at a lot of different places, tried a lot of different things at Stanford, and I wouldn't have been able to get there without the help of a lot of really close friends and a lot of really good mentors. And in fact, if you look at any research article or listen to any thought leader who talks about what we can do to progress women in the workplace, a big thing they'll talk about is having good mentor relationships. So what I want to talk about today is relationships, and I want to borrow some words of wisdom from our former First Lady, Michelle Obama, specifically about the 3 types of relationships that women need to succeed in the workplace. Now, I know there's a lot of men in the audience, but please don't tune me out because this is important to you too. You may not be a woman yourself, but you might be a brother to one, a friend to one, and since it's prom season, you might even have a crush on one, and she's a special lady in your life. So the first type of relationship that you need is a mentor, someone who motivates you. And for me, that started very early because I had a mom who was an absolute powerhouse. She not only studied computer science in college, and keep in mind this was years ago, not right now where everyone essentially studies computer science. She worked full time, she started my family's business, and she still had time to figure out whenever I hid my Chinese homework from her. So in my mind, I was like, yes, a woman can do it all because I had that role model. And then, as I was a sophomore at Stanford, I met a pair of twins named Olivia and Justine Moore. And prior to meeting them, I'd always had an interest in investing, and I always knew that my dream job would be to be in venture capital or private equity. But I thought that it was so unattainable because everyone told me, you know, you have to have worked in industry for a very long time. You have to have had a lot of operating experience, or you have to be a CEO and exit your company before you can join that firm. But I actually got to intern alongside them at Highland Capital Partners when they were the 2 only associates at their firm. And I saw that the partners treated them as equals. Everything they said had value, and everyone respected them. And from seeing that, I thought, you know, maybe my dream isn't as far as I thought it could be. Maybe it's actually attainable. And with that, just a cold email after and a few practice interview sessions with them, I landed my dream job at Insight Venture Partners. So ladies, it's so important to have that mentor because they will show you that it's possible to reach for things that you don't even think you're capable of yourself. The second type of mentor is your equal, and this is the girlfriend that gets you because she's been through the same thing and she's facing the same struggles as you. And for me, I found my 2 equals in the Management Science and Engineering Master's program at Stanford. Their names were Valerie and Joanne, and we bonded over the fact that we all had Asian immigrant parents who essentially we were living their dream by going to Stanford, the fruits of their hard work. We also studied social sciences for undergrad, so we were always like, why are engineering classes so hard? And the last part was that we were all going into fields like tech and finance that were traditionally male-dominated. And through that passion, we decided to found our first business together, Ivy Sisters. It's essentially a platform for us to mentor girls to get into their top dream schools and then to help them through their career paths with the goal of empowering the next generation of female leaders. So ladies, it is important to have that equal because she will keep pushing you and she knows exactly what you've been through. And last but not least, and this is my favorite one because it's honestly a big reason why I decided to compete in the Miss America organization. And essentially it's the idea that you need to have mentees. Once you've paved that path, once you've reached your dreams, it's not enough to just do that. You need to go back, you need to reach behind you and pull another girl toward her dreams through the path that you've created as well. And for me, I was reminded of this last year. I've been involved in the Business Association for Stanford Entrepreneurial Students for 4 years. And as a vice president last year, a freshman reached out to me. Her name was Sabina, and she wanted to grab coffee. And I noticed at the time that she didn't make much eye contact with me. She was pretty soft-spoken, but she had a lot of grit, and I could see that she had a passion for the stuff I was working on. So I gave her an officer position, and lo and behold, just last month, she was elected the president of BASES for next year. So that was a very fulfilling moment for me. Know that you can give back. No matter how inexperienced you think you are, there is a girl that you can pull along. So ultimately, the goal for my platform is actually that my platform will eventually become irrelevant. That women in leadership will be so common that we don't even have to designate them as women because they are just leaders who are on equal ground as their male counterparts. So thank you so much, and I hope you'll all help me get there.